So the parsha begins, the Torah portion begins, Vayeshev Yaakov ba'eretz Megurei Aviv ba'eretz Canaan. And Jacob settled, let's open that slide, Ben. And Jacob settled in the land where his father sojourned, in the land of Canaan. He settled in the land where his father sojourned, in the land of Canaan. Now you start off, and if you don't know better, you actually feel happy for Yaakov, because after all he's been through, he could finally dwell in peace, because he's been through a lot. He survived Esav and Lavan, and then Esav again. He fought with an angel, and he had a lifelong injury from the battle. He endured the violation of his daughter Dinah, and the war that almost happened with the people of Canaan. And you know, he's now finally back in the land of his fathers, and he just wants to settle down and build a family and raise them to walk in Hashem's ways. It really seems like he deserves a break, but it wasn't meant to be, because we see unfold in the Torah portion itself, Vayeshev Yaakov, and Yaakov settled down to dwell. That's where the real trouble begins. And that's actually what the great commentator Rashi says on that verse. He says that like this, here's the slide. No sooner had Jacob sought to dwell in tranquility that the troubles of Joseph sprang upon him. The righteous seek to dwell in tranquility, said the Holy One, blessed be he. What is prepared for the righteous in the world to come is not sufficient for them, that they seek also to dwell in tranquility in this world. That's what Rashi says that Hashem is saying. It's hard to read, but it's true, right? Seeking a break from trouble and seeking to avoid pain and difficulty, that is a very human thing. And it's not as if Jacob was seeking to just have an easy life. Remember that Jacob is the Jacob who dwells in tents. He studies the word, right? He spent 14 years in the yeshiva of Shem and Ever. This is the spiritual Jacob who just wanted a brief break, a momentary respite, right? From all the pain and grief, so he could just finally dedicate himself to spiritual pursuits. He just wanted to study a little bit and pray a little bit and maybe start his own fellowship, right? He's back in the land. Maybe he'd call it the Land of Israel Fellowship. But here's the problem with all of that, at least the way I see it. And this is just Ari. This is the way I see it. When I wake up in the morning, I pray to Hashem. Hopefully, if I'm blessed with this internal serenity and peace of mind, I'm able to focus on what I'm saying from the beginning to the end and really pour out my heart to Hashem. And I speak to Hashem, I speak directly to God. But then I take my tefillin off and I fold up my talit, right, my prayer shawl, and I proceed with my day. And I try to keep in mind that what happens to me throughout my day, well, that's Hashem responding to me. What people say to me is what Hashem wants me to hear. And whatever happens to me, well, that's what Hashem wants me to experience. That's his answer to me. And it's not always what I want to experience. The challenges presented to me are not always the ones I would choose for myself. Usually they're not. But Hashem knows the journey upon which he wants us to travel. And he knows the fixing that we need to do for our souls far better than we do. We don't understand that stuff. And so he puts us in the situations that we need to be in, which quite often are not the situations that we really want to be in. Because from my experience, looking back on my life, those challenges that happened to me, not the ones I necessarily chose, but the ones that happened to me, well, that's where the real, true spiritual growth happens. Spiritual knowledge, right? Yes, that comes from Torah study. Spiritual tools to contend with these challenges of life, that comes from Torah study. But the actual spiritual growth, well, at least in my experience, that most often comes from the pain and the tribulations and the adversity, from all those things that we really want to avoid. And what this means to me is that God did not send the whole Yosef disaster into Yaakov's life in order to interrupt his tranquility. He sent it to tell Yaakov that he wasn't done yet, that he has more to accomplish in this world. He's not done yet. It's not yet time for him to rest. So just the other day, Vash was in the car and she was having a meltdown. These meltdowns are starting to happen. I just think they're so cute. But she can't always communicate that well, but I can tell that she was uncomfortable and she was upset. She was crying and her nose was running and her whole face was just busy and messy. And my heart just like really hurt for her. And I started singing to her. I was like, no. Oh, I'm not supposed to sing. But I was trying to sing to her and to calm her down. And then I heard myself actually telling her to prepare herself, that this is what life is about, that we're not here in this world to be comfortable and lazy. We're here to bring light and blessing. And while that can be painful sometimes, that's why Hashem sent us here. This is what I was telling my 22-month-old. But it's taken me 42 years to understand the degree that I understand it now. So I just wanted to share it with her.
This highlight was taken from the Land of Israel Fellowship. Every week, hundreds of families from literally around the world come together on our live Zoom sessions to strengthen each other, to inspire each other, and to learn Torah from the Land of Israel, in which we connect the dots between the Bible, the Hebrew language, and the confusing events of our times. Go to www.thelandofisrael.com/fellowship or click on the link below to join. Thank you.